Outside of the MHA, I am employed with Nova Scotia Health, and I work in the quality improvement and safety portfolio. And returning to my studies, it was a really easy decision for me, considering the number of colleagues who actually previously attended Dalhousie and studied the MHA. So one colleague in particular is my director, Erin Leith. Erin is a registered nurse. She has a Bachelor of Science in Nursing from St. FX, just kind of northeast in Nova Scotia, and she holds a Master of Health Administration from Dalhousie. Erin has more than 15 years of experience leading quality improvement initiatives and collaborating with leaders from the front line to senior sector executives to improve care and outcomes. So upon completing her studies, she actually moved out of Nova Scotia and worked for the Canadian Foundation of Healthcare Improvement, which is now known as Healthcare Excellence, and she was there for 11 years. So she was the Director of Education and Training, including the prestigious Extra program. If anyone's ever heard of that, you will definitely learn more about that in the MHA. So Erin returned to Nova Scotia in 2018, and she actually worked with as a provincial manager for primary healthcare for Nova Scotia Health. So in her current role as the Central Zone Director for Quality Improvement and Safety, she also has a provincial area of focus for quality improvement and culture and a Central Zone focus for quality improvement and safety. So as a director, Erin manages a team of talented leaders who continuously review patient safety incidents, lead accreditation preparation, support integration of a person-centered care approach, and is leading the development of a provincial quality improvement and culture strategy. Erin is a champion and an empowering leader for quality improvement across Nova Scotia, and I would say the globe. Erin has continued to develop relationships with high-performing health systems like National Health Services Scotland, and adopted international improvement practices to inform the Nova Scotia Health quality improvement approach. Our team has greatly benefited from Erin's wealth of knowledge, experience, and global networks. I have had the pleasure of working alongside Erin for just over a year now, and am forever grateful for the professional and personal mentor she has become for me, and for really encouraging me to pursue the MHA. So please help me in welcoming Erin Leith.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. I never enjoy having my bio read, and then Charlotte has clearly just taken it up several notches, and I really greatly appreciate it. I have benefited immensely from working closely with Charlotte. I was so grateful that Charlotte was willing to work with me over the last year, because we benefited from each other, truly and honestly. She's brilliant and going to do amazing things. And hearing from Lauren and from Josh and from Bria and from Emma, the future is very, very bright. So anything I have to share this evening is going to really, it's already really been said by them, and arguably better than how I'm going to say it. So somebody who graduated from the program in 2007, that is when I left the Masters of Health Administration program. But I just wanted, before I get into a bit more, I mean, Charlotte really has spelled out some of my background and my history. So some of the things I wanted to impart, which have somewhat been said, but they've remained true. So if that's, I think that's an important measure of the credibility of this program, is that many of the experiences that drew me to the program at all those many years ago in 2005 and 6, when I was looking at it and became familiar with it, stand true today, and then have been grown even more so since the time I was involved directly in the program. And you know, a great I consider Tanya and David and I don't know you yet, Ben, but I'm sure I will, that it is like a family that you can continue to connect with people over time. And so I think what's, you know, the caliber of the program at the Masters of Health Administration in the school is just so exceptionally high, and it's been maintained over a very long period of time. And I think that says a lot about its leadership. So my point around the future is bright. I absolutely couldn't agree more with Tanya that now is the moment. I don't consider myself a salesperson, but truly and honestly, in the last 15 years, there have been times when I have been utterly disappointed with the current state of healthcare in this country and globally. I read a recent article that talked about the retreat from quality. As Charlotte mentioned, I'm Director of Quality Improvement and Safety here in Nova Scotia, and I have a provincial responsibility around quality improvement. And having done that work in a pan-Canadian fashion, I've seen it again and again and again that organizations and within health systems have relentlessly been in retreat from quality, I would say, in the last decade, especially. There's been underinvestment, and it's starting to show. But I'm excited. For the first time in a long time, I'm exceptionally excited because there is a very really awareness of the fact that the pandemic has, number one, the pandemic has achieved things that were thought impossible, like virtual care. And the fact that Nova Scotia Health is an absolute leader in virtual care here in Nova Scotia, in the country and abroad. And people are looking to us for innovation and how we are doing this here. And it's so well established. And that's because of our partnerships with Dalhousie University, which work hand in glove with the Health Authority and with our colleagues in applied research, including Dalhousie. And so to me, they're the only way to move back toward quality, a culture of quality, is to march steadfast toward it. And I think now there's a very sharp scrutiny and awareness that we no longer can cut at the fringes of healthcare and expect to have a high-performing health system. So I've never seen the stars aligning the way I feel they are today, where government and policy and health system leadership and the front line, despite the fact that they are immensely burnt out, and truly they are, many of our frontline staff are working short-shifted every single shift, and yet still they show up. Still they do the best for patients that they can do, and they need support from people like you to help them hold the space for being able to identify problems, test possible solutions, and knowing that they have some safety and people to provide advice and guidance around how to go about supporting and implementing change. So that's a bit about what Charlotte and myself and others in our team in Nova Scotia Health are trying to do around our quality improvement and culture strategy that we are not just theorizing about, that we were actively working very hard to implement. So back to the school, I started in nursing. I had a bit of a panic I have a clinical background. Many of you do not, and I've adored working with folks who have clinical backgrounds and those who don't. All are welcome and valuable and bring insight. We all have to have a different mindset. Oftentimes, some of the most high-performing health leaders don't have a healthcare background because they're not wedded to the current state of healthcare. And so in the third year of nursing, I sort of had a panic attack and thought, I don't really want to do frontline nursing for my entire career. And so I was like, maybe I've chosen the wrong career path. And I had a really good mentor in my nursing program who said there are many, many meaningful ways to contribute as a nurse. So I'm a proud, proud nurse to this day. And that's when I found the Masters of Health Administration. And I'm so glad that I did. And then things that have benefited to me are the fact that it is accredited. That was already talked about, the part-time and the full-time. The fact that for me, in addition to what's already been said, the fact that I am now working for my former MHA colleague, Gail Blackmore, who's my Senior Director of Quality Improvement and Safety. The world of healthcare leadership in Canada, abroad, and here at home in Nova Scotia is actually very small. And so you end up meeting people in your master's program who you will have lifelong connections with, and you'll end up coming across each other as you go through your careers, and that's really exciting. Certainly the faculty and the facilitators are immense. Every single class that I was a part of had an applied component, which meant we graduated with a really real life examples and practical work that we graduated in hand with. It wasn't sort of like we just graduated with theory. It was very applied. And the residency. I did a residency at the then Department of Health Promotion and Protection, which is now our Department of Health and Wellness. And I learned so much from my leader there, my supervisor, Dr. Rick Manuel, who was the Director of Policy and Planning. And that was really my choice. Much like Charlotte said, that residency experience is so critically important to do a deep dive into what it means to be, a health leader, an emerging health leader. And I've tried to return that favor. So this summer I hosted a fabulous Alex, I don't know if Alex is on the call tonight. I feel like she might not be, but Alex Doan is just phenomenal in terms of her work. And I think I really tried to give her a strong exposure to the work that we do here at Nova Scotia Health and our quality improvement and safety team. And by virtue, she also was able to benefit our program, and we learned so much from her. She did a fabulous job for us in the few short months that we had her. And then one of the things that has really been critical is that as I went into my job within the now Healthcare Excellence Canada for 11 years, that I was able to stay connected with the Masters of Health Administration on and off, including I've served as an improvement coach And then really I've brought that home. And I think that that's where we are now. I came home in 2018 and I started as a manager in primary healthcare, really taking that quality improvement approach to primary healthcare. I did that for several years, and then not post-pandemic, we're still in it, but sort of now that we're in this side of the pandemic, really have stepped into the position around the Central Zone Quality Director and really starting to work hand in glove on the development of pursuit of quality improvement as a methodology that we can use from the front line to the senior most leadership to achieve our ambitions and our goals related to quality improvement and safety. And this is what working from home looks like, because this is my 8-year-old, Myra. I'm also a mom of 4. So this is real life. Okay, I love you. It happened. Charlotte, it happened. Okay, I think I'm at time, and I think that's all my points I wanted to hit. If there's anything that anybody has in terms of questions, I can take them along with all of the other fabulous presenters.